We're back.
Just a matter of time.
Hello. What's up, everybody? We're back. Oh, man, that worked out perfectly.
Anything I've ever... You know what? I lie a little bit.
Hey, we all lie a little bit. You just lie a lot of it.
Oh, my God. Is this your first time?
Because...
First time lying?
We
Is this
know.
your first time?
We know.
You never forget your first time.
know.
You never forget your first time lying.
because I want to make a joke. Like, I stopped myself from, telling the truth because the joke and the lie is funnier. But I was about to say everything I've ever microdosed always turns to megadose. Because it's like, you know what would be better than one, too.
Yeah.
And then it's just, and then next thing you know, it's just like everything. But with marijuana, I still have stayed with the 10 milligrams. It's been like, years.
Let me
6
ask you.
years.
Let me ask you. Why don't you?
10 milligrams at a time. I've never graduated to like.
Well, also everything you overdose, or not overdose, but over consume, then eventually you realize the negative consequences of that, and you go backwards. So you have to keep going forward until you have enough.
Yeah.
Then you go to microdose.
I went 10, 20s. You knew me when I did 50s.
Yeah, the 50.
100, 150.
150 now?
100, 50,
Okay.
20. Now I smoke an entire vape a day.
One
full vape a day.
Back to
full
150.
cartridge. One full cartridge. $48. $48 a day. Full cartridge. I started at 6 a.m.
Puffing it.
I puff it hard. I work out, and I come here. I don't puff here. As soon as
you work out after puffing?
In the mornings, yeah. I love a good puff, and then I don't know where I'm at. I'm just pedaling my legs, and then after the show, you've seen me. Like, I'll be sitting here, we'll be talking. I'll pull it out of my pocket. It's like 3 o'clock, and then I smoke it until I pass out.
You know you're addicted when you're like, let's not search negative effects of too much marijuana. Because you know the internet is going to tell you something. In your mind, now I'm oblivious to it. I'm like, everybody says it's fine. I'm working off information 8 years ago when they legalized it.
Well, there was a time when we would have been doing that.
Yeah.
Just because we have rapid information now doesn't mean I need to be,
Well, the other thing is now that you can go and buy it legally, and at one point you had to have a scary,
Interaction
with somebody in order to get it.
There used to be a time when you were forced to talk to black people to get marijuana.
No, it went to whites. Because I got mine
from hillbillies,
listener. And you always have to get in
Straight
their car.
Palaka.
Yeah, I don't like getting in hillbilly cars. They're gross. They stink like
Why did you ever have to get in the car? Why
my drug dealer
in the car.
I know. Yeah. Why was that a thing?
Yeah, my guy made me sit in the
I never did
passenger
it,
side.
but...
What if they started driving off with their penis out or something?
No. It's a never. I was just like,
And you can tell they had been in the car for way too long. Not that I've ever had this experience, because their car was 58 degrees. Their AC had been
That's an excellent observation.
Yeah.
It
was way
weed.
too cold.
They've been selling weed out of the parking lot of Blue Martini at Altamont or Millennium Mall for.
And now that
that's a true story. I bought weed.
Now
at the Blue Martini parking lot.
Why didn't I just have them meet me at my house?
I did.
It was always a gas station or the Walmart parking lot.
I started doing that. Shout out to our good friend Dustin, formerly of West End Trading Company. I like doxing people. He used to put my weed right in my mailbox. Right in my mailbox.
Don't you do events with him?
I had to. He's been trying to get me to not say people's names, and I've been doing really, really good, but I had to slide one out. Felt really good. Oh, I felt naughty. Would you like to start?
Yes, I do.
All right. This guy comes. He's going to make me look like a hero. I might save that for Mother's Day while you're bullshitting.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay, no cussing.
Yeah.
You knew that's coming up, right? Do you already have that dialed in? Mother's Day?
No.
You got to do it. And you got to your mom's around. You got to do her too.
Tom's asking what Mother's Day is.
And your wife's mom's around.
This is my first Mother's Day.
You got
this is my first Mother's Day.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I got a 5-month-old. So.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
It's
I forgot
my first
about
Mother's
that.
Day.
Yeah, it's fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's a
best thing in the world.
Bullshit holiday.
I like it. I like it because
made by the card company.
I like it because if you take care of things, maybe later.
Yeah.
Well,
taking
exactly.
Care of things,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You cook a little dinner, you might be.
Not the Tom would.
Oh, it's not Wife's Day. It's Mother's Day.
I know, but if you take care of Mom, maybe she'll be in the good mood when you're maybe giving her a Mother's Day massage. It leads into something else. You have no idea how to do this.
100%.
How corny is it if I
You and your boys gonna do barbershop quartet again and sing a song?
No.
That would be awesome.
Recently, my mom had her radiator broke in her car. And then, so
that's her gift.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm paying for
it. I'm high-fiving you right now. I've done that.
Now, my sister paid. I'm paying her back.
I've done this before. That's her gift.
So then, but it's now, and then when Mother's Day happens,
you write it in the card.
I'm like, hey, that radiator. But that's shitty, right?
No, because he forwarded the.
My mom doesn't care.
We should be talking about this. You want to go?
Okay,
no cursing. All right, here we go. We gonna start?
Yeah.
3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Shane's here from Gabriela Plants. How you doing, Shane?
How's it going, guys?
Our favorite place for plants.
Yeah.
Plantman.
Like all of, I can say 97%, soon to be 98% of the plants in my house are Gabriela Plants.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful plants. We did kill one last week. Accidentally.
Hey, we all do it.
It was the first time. I've been waiting to tell this story. It was the first time ever and it was Maisie's fault. Nobody got in trouble. It was an accident. We throw in the ball for Dansby the dog, and we hit one of her pots, and that thing flew. And when it hit the floor, it exploded everywhere, it was a mess.
Well, that shouldn't kill it. You pick it up. You take all the dirt out of the roots and have hang.
Not the denizens. No, denizens is right in the trash. She's a dead.
And we're right back to Tom wanting free plants.
She's a dead.
I have a problem with overwatering my plants because I get high and forget I watered them already.
That sounds fun.
Other plantmen will understand what I'm saying, and I know your other plantmen are like, you're supposed to stick your finger in the soil to see how wet it is.
Mark it with a Sharpie, and then you know.
No, is it a Sharpie?
No, just walk by the pot and you water it, and then just do a hash mark on it or something.
It's not a clear pot. That's amateur.
I don't know. Put a sticker on it or something. I'm trying to save you overwatering.
Just stick your finger in it. The problem was then I get a dirty finger.
Yeah.
And then
that's what they call it, Tommy Dirt Finger.
And then I was like, I could eyeball it. I could tell dry and wet soil, apparently.
Yeah, the best thing I ever did was put a sink inside the greenhouse in my backyard, because then the dirt finger, you can rinse it right off.
Yeah, you can rinse it right off. I didn't know you were
afraid
of
a utility sink in the backyard.
No, back in the day, I have a feeling this man was not afraid of dirty fingers.
No,
nowadays,
call me Tommy Dirt Finger. I don't care about. I'll have dirty fingers at all times. The problem is then I get yelled at for putting dirt smudges on the doors of our house.
Yeah, that's your fault. You got to wash your hands after you're done in the garden.
That's what I'm saying, sink.
Because I'm so ADD that I'm doing 10,000 things at the same time, and then I'm like, I gotta
make eggs for the boys. You gotta stirring them with a dirt finger.
Hey, can Shane come in on the show?
As I'm walking to make eggs for the boys, I'm like, plants, I gotta water them.
Yeah.
Then I stop, dirt finger. Then I'm like, back to eggs.
It's time. How old is Tommy turning? They're making their own eggs. It's time. Maisie makes her own eggs. I'm putting my foot down. You gotta do it. Maisie makes her own eggs. You gotta do it.
I don't think. Yeah.
My 5 months.
You know what I bought my daughter this week? Do you want to know what I bought her on Monday? Because she asked me to buy it. I had to go out and buy her own bottle of cooking spray for eggs. She has her own bottle of Pam. It's time. It's time.
Now you're describing something abnormal. It's like to tell, it's time for your daughter or your son to learn cello and start playing.
Cooking for yourself at the age of 11 or 10 is not the cello. Asian kids, you see the little boys are making bao buns. There's sauteing Korean fried double chicken.
Yeah, that's the anomaly. Anyway, so
and they're successful.
Back to plants.
Yeah, let's talk plants for a minute.
Shane.
Now, you brought us some. Now, I don't know if these are for us, but I'm just, I'm guessing.
Well, of course they're for us. That's the only reation I invite Shane in. No,
Tom can't bring me in without. I'm
like, don't forget the plants.
Don't forget the old. Got to do the old Cuban tic-tac.
You got anything rare? Was this comment in the BDM Facebook group? Which you're not a BDM, go to tomanddan.com, become a BDM.
So
you are so manipulative. The idea that you would launch a phrase into our BDM group about rare plants with the idea of just getting.
Well, I know Shane's in there. I see him comment.
I know you do. But that is so.
And I told him come to the greenhouse.
That is so disgustingly manipulative.
Yeah, but then I'm like, I got to drive all the way to the greenhouse. I'll invite him in here.
I'll get him to bring the rare plants to me.
And
it worked.
Before we get, I don't know it works. That's the only reason I do anything.
I'm the smartest guy I know.
The only reason I do anything is because it works. Anyway. So that's not true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I am gonna take some heat for that. They're like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, I just let him go.
It was so absurd when I said it that I figured it out.
But it felt good, didn't it?
I figured out plants. Here we go.
Oh,
this is why I brought you in.
Wow.
All right.
So, because I've been racking my brain of like, why do I like plants? You know, and some people don't even think about why they like something. They just they're like,
that's me. He's referencing me. Yeah,
no, I think
like,
most people are like you.
I mean, he's on this kick where
Crystal
if you like
says the
something,
thing.
you have to instantly defend it in front of him, or then you don't really like it.
Well,
Correct.
I don't.
Yeah.
Or the fact that you
Well,
say
he
you
just
like
needs
it
a fight.
is not real.
He needs a fight, man.
Yeah,
he needs a fight.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
No, no.
angry all the
No,
time.
no,
It's this Adderall got him angry.
Yeah, man.
In fact,
Anger roll.
I'm overdosed. That's what Reddit says. I have never met anybody else that just constantly thinks about why they like something. So I'm the anomaly here. And then my wife tells me you're insane. What the hell? You're crazy. You're driving everybody crazy. But
I'm not crazy. I'm fine.
I thought I've been thinking about plants, and I'm like, all right, I figured it out. And tell me if you think this is correction.
All right.
So let's say you buy
It's correct.
a plant.
I mean, you're gonna have to say that
Exactly.
at some point
I'm
anyway,
just saying
so
it already.
Might as well practice
You
now.
know?
So I have an idea for people of how to give a plant as a gift, and I figured out the most value you can get out of it. All right.
All right.
Okay. So you buy a plant from Gabriela Plants,
Okay.
right? You go on there, you pick out a plant you like. All the plants are quality.
From
right?
beginning plants to crazy plants to
Oh yeah.
all the plants.
Every type. Yeah.
Although
yeah.
I got a
There's
gripe.
like 400 different SKUs in stock right now.
That's
on
a
the website.
lot of plants.
Yeah.
I have a gripe with
Collect all 400. I urge you to.
with the carnivore plants, but that's another. Well, we'll get
Oh,
there.
I
he
brought
doesn't-
some carnivorous plants.
Yeah, he doesn't
I
consider
kill them
that.
all
Yeah.
the time, Shane. Don't want.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
uh-oh. You better be right when you
It
tell
makes
him.
me so mad. So here's the best way to give a plant as a gift to get the maximum value out of it. All right. So you buy a plant from Gabriela Plants.
Okay.
And then it comes to your house. That right there is a great gift to bring to your mom, sister, brother, anybody who likes plants, a
Sure.
plant lover in your family, right? But I suggest to get the maximum value out of it that you yourself take care of that plant for X amount of time. It could be a couple weeks. It could be a couple months. It could be a couple years or whatever. And you could enjoy that plant for another couple years as you grow and take care of it, right?
Okay.
So then what happens is, as a plant man, we all know that you end up plant hoarding, which you end up just buying plants, and then your whole house is plants.
Yeah,
You
lots
know,
and
the
lots of different
outside
plants.
incense,
Yeah.
so
And then it just becomes pots and dead plants inside of them and cat skeletons underneath
No,
the
no,
pots.
no.
Yeah, and tons of fungus gnats.
you drive. That's what those are.
Yeah.
I
He called him his lucky bug buddies.
and this is how I realized the value of plants, because I've come into this scenario where
You
I've
know,
had
if
too
you
many
change
plants.
your clothes, this is the ramblings of a homeless person. Like if you were just covered in rags right now.
That's the only difference between.
Right? Like everything you've told Shane, everything you've told me, we're standing here, we're listening to you. If you had on a beanie, like a Cartman style beanie, and had a beard, I'd be like, this guy's nuts.
This is
He's
every
about to-
Mother's Day in your early 20s when you didn't get your mom anything. So you're like, I'll give you these coupon codes of,
Are you gonna
you
do a plant
know,
coupon?
like, I'll mow your lawn.
No, I think what
you
he's
know?
trying to get to in a really long-winded way is that if you take care of the plant, it's almost like you're putting your own essence on the plant. So then when you gift it to someone, you're gifting the amount of attention and love that you
No.
gave
He's
the
saying
plant.
once you've given it to somebody, you're taking care of it in their home?
No.
No. Okay.
Listen, that's why this is
Daniel
so
got it.
confusing.
Okay.
I speak calm. Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel's the only one that can
Thank you,
understand
Daniel.
me. It's a
Thank you,
great
Daniel.
business
Yeah.
model.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what I am? It's just like chimp crazy, and I'm like that lady. I'm like that lady with all the makeup on, and you're that chimp, and only you and I can talk to each other.
Yeah.
And we're best friends.
Tom
and
needs
it's
a
almost,
translator.
And it's almost gay.
Yeah.
It's this close
Yeah.
to being gay.
And I'm this close to ripping your ass off.
Yeah, he does get mad at me.
If you don't give me my cigarettes.
I have to give him a cigarette or he's going to rip my ass off.
So if you love and you plant the plant, it means more when you give it
Yes!
to your mom.
There you go.
So because I've realized
Thank you,
this
Daniel.
over time now, to get rid of my hoarding problem, my plant hoarding problem, I'll give them away as gifts. And I'm like, hey, I took care of this. Is a plant that I maybe took a cutting of. I grew for.
It's like giving
years
away bottles of wine that you've collected that are old like a vintage, even though you didn't like build it or anything.
Yeah.
But you're giving
Yeah,
something that you collected and preserved.
But not only that, it represents the amount of effort it takes to take care of a plant, which is hard. It's, I mean, by the way, this
all comes back to you getting credit again, though. I feel, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, it's like I'm giving you something and I want you to marvel at this something that I'm giving you because I had it and I didn't let it die. Are you gonna let it die? Yeah, I do speak pure talk.
And then as soon as they kill it, they're like, I'm better at plants than you are.
Yes, now you
my God, he should be getting you plants.
Yeah. Because then when it
Give him
dies,
plants.
they think, oh, I'm not as good as Tom, and that's all I want.
Who cares about doing a show at the...
They're like, oh, this was like he took care of it for years, and then I killed it. I'm not as good as Tom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, that's it.
No, but also,
have you ever thought to give someone a diseased plant so it's a guaranteed win?
No, the damn flies.
He wouldn't know the difference.
The damn
I did this.
What are you in Yellowstone? The damn flies! He's hitting them with his hat.
I did this.
My bologna sandwich.
Before I knew what white flies were, I did this to Tony.
White flies matter, man.
To Tony Bouchette, I loaded a bunch of.
Don't laugh at that. You're not allowed. No one's allowed.
I hope Tony hears this because he'll laugh. I loaded a bunch of jalapeno plants into Tony's WRX, and they were white fly crazy, like so much. He's like,
I'd be a
goddamn.
swarm, man.
He's like, is this normal? I'm like, yeah, all these plants.
Yeah. They're just happier in their new odor. Those are the celebratory plant flies.
Welcoming flies.
I'm like,
Welcoming flies is so good.
I'm like, just
That's a good band name.
Roll your window down. They'll fly out.
You'll blast them. Get on I-4. You'll blast them out of here.
Yeah, but they are underneath. They're attached. Anyway,
I'm seriously crying.
back to plants. But in all seriousness, but then also you can learn how to take, like, if you are not a plant person, you could learn what this plant, because all plants are a little bit different. For the most part, you fertilize them, don't overwater them, don't underwater them, which is hard too,
Light,
because it's like,
give them good light. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the hardest thing for us with the ones that you gave us is dialing in, especially because most of them we were keeping indoors and like making sure that they have the right amount of light. It was really hard and. But we got it dialed in now. They're in different areas of the house, and we got the blinds open. You know.
And not to go too far away from the subject, but it does drive me crazy that I got apps now that tell me like diagnose the problem of your plant.
I've seen those where it's like you'll take a picture and then it shows a lady using scissors to cut it out, and then it goes wrong. You're killing it.
But by the way, you can cut off brown spots. Sometimes they don't know.
Those apps are a little bit like WebMD. It's always cancer.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always, you know what I mean? Like, it's always the same thing.
Well, let's start.
Know?
Can I ask that question real quick? If I got a brown leaf, what do I do?
Well, okay, but you take a picture and then it'll say it's either overwater or underwater. And then you're like, well, no S. Well, then you didn't tell me nothing. Like, because you've given me the entire spectrum of water, and you're like, it's somewhere in between nothing and everything.
It's dehydration, cancer. It's one of the two things.
And there's like, I can't fix it now because I don't know. Anyway.
What's the easiest way to tell? Like, if you do want to use technology, is there a surefire way to do it, or how would you do it?
We don't use technology. I would say when it comes to the underwatering, overwatering, typically dry, like a leaf that has damage that's drying, like is crispy, not mushy, is underwatering. Things that become mushy is typically overwatering.
Yeah.
So you typically get mushy from overwatering. You typically get, crusty and kind of dry when it's underwatering. But that's not the case for every single plant. That's the crazy thing about plants is we just grow houseplants at Gabriela Plants, but there's so many thousands and thousands of species out there and genuses out there. On rough estimate, there's 2/3 of the plants that probably exist in the world haven't even been discovered or in production or even available for sale. They're just a random species in a rainforest or in a desert somewhere, and there hasn't necessarily been the scientific, exploration to make sure that all those are documented correctly. So it's crazy how wide the spectrum is. And obviously where you live in the country, we're in Orlando, but anywhere in the country is going to have different care, and you're going to have lower humidity in Seattle than you are going to have here. Those types of things are going to be totally different. So it's hard there's no one size fits all. And I think that's the one thing that AI always wants to do, is create like the one answer for something, when oftentimes it's very environmental.
Tom,
and,
you
what's
like
going
one
on.
answer for everything. Right?
Well, it's easier.
No, but I'm not being serious.
Give me
Like, he
yes or
likes,
no.
He likes a yes or no. Then it's a lot of the time on this show where we get some frustration is the gray area.
Yeah,
right.
You know?
And like even the reality of like even my idea about taking care of a plant and then giving it away, like
I like that
it
idea,
is based
actually.
on reality, but there's also, you could learn how to take care of it and then include the fertilizer and the schedule that you've done. I mean, Gabriela kind of does that for you, and they give you.
Now you're inching into mason jar with cookie ingredients into it.
Yeah.
Though. When I get a mason jar with cookie ingredients into it, I want to throw it through a car window.
But it does, because some people they're like, oh, I always kill plants. So you hear that all the time, like, I can't take care of
It
plants.
starts with your attitude, right? That's the last thing you should say when somebody gives you a plant. You should not say that.
Well, just tell your Alexa to put you on a 2-day-a-week watering schedule, or a reminder, because most of the time it's you forget to water it and then it dies, because there is really no coming back to extremely dehydrating your plant. Like, it's dead. Once it's dead, it's not coming back. The plants wilt a little bit or like become sad, you can give it water, it'll come back. But once everything turns brown, it's done. Shane, what have you messed with because I got a bunch of emails recently about bioluminescent plants. And they're like, how does that even work?
Yeah, they were bred. They're patented, so we can't grow them for us. They're bred by, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in the Netherlands or something like that. But they possess a naturally occurring genetic mutation that allows the flower of the plant, although some of the leaf is also bioluminescent, but mainly the flower. And that's what they've been breeding for. From my knowledge, from talking to a friend who it doesn't work for them, but is aware of the situation, there's actually a few other species they're trying. Right, that's a petunia right now.
Okay.
That's bioluminescent, but they're trying to introduce that to a couple other genuses and species out there as well. But
some real life Pandora type stuff.
Yeah,
right? Like we're getting some.
We're getting some CRISPR plants going on right now.
Is there anything out there right now? Has there ever been a plant where somebody they've created a plant and then they're like, "Whoa, we can't have that. We can't have that plant." Like it's like
Monsanto corn, with
right? No,
GMOs,
but almost like you created an atomic bomb of plants, or something that's so invasive that it oh my god, I wish.
Well,
made that.
kudzu up in the Carolinas was actually something that the U.S. government was out there. Totally unrelated to houseplants, but they were out there saying that because one of its qualities in Japan, where it was native to, was replenishing the pH and some of the nutrients in the soil.
Yeah.
So the government literally paid people to plant this plant in their fields, in their farmland, in the Carolinas and Tennessee and that whole valley area up there. And then it became invasive because they didn't realize
so they're
that
pumping the nutrients, but the thing went nuts.
The thing went nuts, and now it's covering entire trees and entire forests, overgrown, So it every time you find something that's really cool for its unique use case, there's always something we don't realize right now. And I think that's humanity's thing, as we jump into, maybe Tom's thing too, we jump into something without realizing the consequences later, you know what I mean? And
well,
so,
what you're talking about too almost sounds like video game character sliders, right? It's like, if you pick the big guy who's super strong, he's going to be slow. For everything that you pick, there's going to be something else that you have to take away from, or it might destroy this, or maybe we don't have the infrastructure or land for it. Or
Well, people don't realize, like, pothos grows wild, especially in South Florida, and even here too. You'll see it on trees, and the leaves will get gigantic. But that's the standard basic bitch house plant, is the pothos, which is you'll see in most like above your TV cabinet. You know what I'm saying?
That's an excellent way of saying it. It's the TV cabinet plant.
Well, it's funny he brought this up because that's the whole reason I thought I was coming into the show today is on one of the BDM shows or the Friday Free Show, you were talking about your new business, Backyard Brothers Plants.
Oh,
so I figured...
Oh, God, the word got out. Oh, you weren't supposed to hear about Backyard Brothers.
I just patented that, by the way. And
I'm doing working on a website all morning.
Exactly. I'm doing bioluminescent plants because I don't give a damn.
He is. The boys are back there spray painting.
Yeah, spray painting.
They're just spraying all over.
That's one of the craziest things also right now is there's a new way of spray painting and like glitterizing plants that's actually biodegradable, because you've seen like the succulents that get like spray painted and they're like blue or pink or whatever, and that always kills the plant, like that 100%. There's a new technology on the market that's allowing plants to be spray painted or glitterized or even printed on by like a printer.
I'm pretty sure we're going to need to do that with Brendan O'Connor, and we're going to have to spray paint some plants in Orlando, right? Doesn't that sound like
Hoya.
Yeah, doesn't that sound like something that you and Brendan would do? We go through the town spray painting plants everywhere?
Or we sell Gabriela Plants, the Tom and Dan logo on the leaves.
Yeah, there you go.
It only lasts a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
So let's talk about
like henna tattoo.
I noticed. Oh, thank you so much for bringing some plants in.
I
said, don't
to
worry.
jumpstart your business.
What is this, Christmas? Why are there plants here?
I said, no big deal. You don't have to bring anything. But you did. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's awesome.
Well, it's funny you were talking about
the plants I expected are here.
The whole reason I sent him a text was confirmed. You were talking about carnivorous plants, though, and you always kill them. Just in quick, one of the reasons you always kill, this is a Venus flytrap. This is a really cool one, though. It's got like kind of the red color inside the Venus flytrap.
I have a red Venus.
Yeah. But one of the reasons you always kill it is carnivorous plants, pretty much, there's a handful of species, but the vast majority are native to bogs. So when you get the little thing with the little cap on it, you know, when I'm talking about the supermarket Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
And then the instructions tell you to put it on your windowsill, which in Florida, that's 155 degrees right there next to
It just cooks it.
It cooks it, and they really need constant access to moisture. So if you're going to grow a carnivorous plant, you want to keep the bottom like eighth of the pot in standing water.
Boggy.
Because they're native to bogs and swamps.
Interesting.
So this is a traditional Venus flytrap kind of cool species.
Can you put a little bit of hamburger in those?
I don't know that it helped the plant, but
I've always wanted to like put a little bit of hamburger in there.
People always think you have to feed them insects.
Yeah.
They eat plant food. It's just like every other plant.
Exactly.
Which is kind of
But that's not.
no, yeah.
That's
Just,
like having a big monster truck and it's like, no, it's still electric. You know? And I'm like,
yeah,
no.
hey, there is some psychology behind you have a Venus flytrap, it's growing and everything, but
I thought you put a hamburger in.
Yeah, you never get to. You could take a little live fly, but it's such a pain in the ass feeding it flies.
Yeah, and they're mostly native. Like, although there's swamp and there is some nutrients in the bog water that's, you know, very slowly flowing. Think the Everglades or think up in like Mississippi, Alabama, that area. There is some nutrients in the water, but obviously they have a bigger job to overcome by getting nutrients. As soon as you put a little bit of fertilizer in it, or even as we grow it in like a Canadian peat with mineral like minor nutrients and that kind of thing, they really don't.
You guys work with
they,
Canadian Pete?
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
Yeah,
Can you please tell him hi for me?
But the other one is, and I'll give this to Tom to show off. This is a sundew. So they have and rather than like the traditional Venus flytrap where it kind of closes on the prey, they actually have these like paddle leaf design with those paddles in the main. Those are the flowers, but the main part of the plant has really sticky goo on it. So as soon as a fly will land on it, it won't actually like swallow it up, but it will get stuck in the dew, and then there's an acid that follows the actual leaf
People are
paddle.
enjoying your sticky goo face. You're staring at it. You're like shocked. You're like, oh, wow.
I'm trying to see the goo.
Sticky goo.
You can touch it. It's not going to hurt you. But it'll trap the fly, and the acid in the leaf will actually break down the fly over time. But it's a different way of being carnivorous. There's hundreds of carnivorous species that are native to the United States. The United States is actually it's one of the only species where we are the leader of the known species. There may be more that haven't been discovered yet, but most of them are native to the Americas.
We have the greatest
versus...
carnivorous plant.
Yeah, exactly.
I still have the ant plant that you got me, and it's still alive, still growing.
That thing's crazy. That was one of the coolest looking plants you ever brought in. That thing was ridiculous.
But I like that in the fact that it doesn't kill the insects, that it just provides a home, and when they naturally die and bring in food, it eats that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot, which we
it's still purpose in a way. It's cooler.
Yeah, and
it's a 5-star hotel for ants. I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. It's just like, well, I'll just eat what your leftovers are.
The one, like, and when we start getting into like the relationship between like plants and like insects, like I start to blur the lines, and I know we're talking plants, but those little moths that look like little broken sticks, have you seen those? They're all over TikTok. They're these little moths. Sticks. And they look like little brown broken sticks, and the interior of it looks like you broke a stick, and the interior is like yellow, like dried wood meat.
Okay.
And this is the craziest insect I've ever seen. So this guy's standing there and all these moths are on him, and it looks like he's just got a bunch of sticks on his sweater. And they're all like little animals that have I'm guessing through evolution, have created themselves to look perfectly like little broken sticks.
Huh.
What?
I'll see if I can find them to show you guys. They're
That's
insane.
Cool.
They're absolutely insane.
That's awesome.
And they look just like sticks.
So what's that plant you got there?
I mentioned this to him earlier. He wanted rare plants when he was roasting me on the BDM page, which if you're not in the Facebook group for BDMs, you can become a BDM at tomanddan.com. But this is Aglaonema hospitum. It's actually my dad who started the wholesale nursery at the greenhouses. My grandpa first owned a garden center, and my dad started a wholesale nursery, the one that I then bought and took over as the third generation. And this was his favorite plant. It was discovered in 1979. Aglaonema hospitum. It's also one of the only aglaonemas that grows kind of in a rhizomatic fashion. So
spit 'em. Spit 'em.
So it actually, all of its new leaves will emerge from under the soil upwards, which is a little different than having a traditional like vining or climbing plant where you have like the new leaves coming out of new growth.
So this one starts at the bottom. Now we're here.
Correct. Correct.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
It also likes real young insects. Plants the pedophiles. I got all the jokes.
Here, I got it up on there's the look at that moth. That's not a stick. That's a moth.
Yeah. That is weird looking.
Yeah, it looks like a stick.
Yeah,
Shane can't see it, but it looks like a stick. And then they're everywhere, and they'll be everywhere, and you'll be like, well, look at all these sticks. No, those aren't sticks. They're moths.
So Shane, how's business going? Good?
Good,
right.
man. We're in the busy season right now.
What's the most popular plant? What's the trend? What's in right now?
Man, I mean, the biggest thing for us is obviously having a wide selection. Like last year, the most popular plant didn't even make up 1% of sales. So, it's pretty spread out over all the SKUs that we sell.
That's good, though. That's good.
But anytime you log on to GabrielaPlants.com, there's a section that shows you like what's trending in the last 48 hours or 24 hours right there on the homepage.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see where things are going. Some of it's seasonal, Valentine's Day, things like the Hoya carrii, which has like a very heart-shaped leaf, sell really well. And then when you get to Mother's Day, you get a lot of the pinks and the purples and, the other colors. And but we're coming out of winter. A lot of times, people are kind of hesitant to order online, even though we successfully shipped all 50 states. We use those heat packs in the box to get it to you.
Your shipping process is unbelievable. It's some of the best, that even companies like 100 times your size can't even ship the way that you guys ship. And
the team does a great job, man.
It's
the team
awesome.
does a great job.
It's actually, it ends up being part of the presentation of like having it ordered is like receiving it and unboxing it is, I don't know, it's exciting. It's very cool.
I like it when you plant a house plant, like one that's familiar to everybody outside. And then years later, it grows into a disgusting monster. Like you're like, oh my god, the leaves.
What have I done?
And they're like, oh, you're not supposed to plant this outside. And
You're
sometimes
describing our compost pile. When we have to compost something because we think that there's too much pests, and there's things that we try not to throw away plants unless we absolutely have to. But at times it's easier, and if you're trying to preserve, I mean, we have 65,000 plants growing in the greenhouse at any given time, so you should come by. But and if you want to come by and you're local to Orlando, you can come take a tour of the greenhouse.
That's cool.
Every second Saturday of the month. You can go to gpsecondsaturday.com
awesome.
to get that information. Danger Bane did all of our new branding for that.
I love the Danger
for
Bane.
Second Saturday.
SecondCityGP.com.
Second Saturday.
Second Saturday. GP.
Which happens when, Tom?
The second Saturday.
All right, there we go. All right.
He's testing it. He's going to take that plant. Give me that plant. What is my plant, real quick? What is mine?
I don't remember the exact species, but it's begonia. Super
pretty.
cool plant. It'll have those really large leaves. Some begonias can have smaller leaves. Some can have bigger. I didn't look at the tag before I walked in here,
it's
but
beautiful,
it looks beautiful.
Maisie's
and
gonna
Tom,
love
fun fact, if you want to steal one of those leaves before you go, how you propagate those, because you don't have a node, right, to plant in the soil.
Yeah.
See,
I got a node. You don't know what you're talking about, Mike.
I'm helping his backyard brother's plants here.
Yeah.
You can actually just trim the leaf off and then stick the leaf directly into soil, like cutting, like basically breaking the leaf in part, and every single one of the veins of the leaf will start a new growth as long as that soil is started. So you can propagate directly from a leaf, like a succulent would.
And not all plants, obviously not all plants can do that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, speaking of that, is it how frowned upon is it if you go to, like, let's say
Gaylord Palms?
Gaylord Palms. How'd you know to say that? Or like
I listened to the things he says.
Any botanical garden, because I was in one in New York.
Oh, no, you did not, did you? You were in the biggest one. He was like the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens.
But I didn't do it there.
But you wanted to,
Oh, yeah. Well, because I think about it.
Are there any signs? They say, like, don't steal
There
any?
isn't. There isn't. So
I'd
I thought,
have been a stealing bitch.
Well, I mean, like taking a cutting, if it's a big enough plant, like you can't take a cut, like Daniel's plant's too small to take a cutting from, but like other things.
Oh, you.
How frowned upon are cuttings in the, I guess, botanical gardens industry?
Now we're getting to stuff I
Lou
like,
Gardens
which is
knows.
like, what are the best, what are like the etiquette of?
Yeah, if I take one from the back.
Yeah, I would, encourage you to ask the right people at each botanical garden, because
We've
the
gotten,
last thing you want.
In the chat room, it is 100% stealing. Everybody's agreeing.
Yeah.
But, we haven't even had one person agree with you.
Yeah, there's some people who would say, in my mind, there's a little bit difference between, the people who are for profit versus the nonprofit. A lot of botanical gardens don't make a ton of money anyway, so and a lot of those botanical gardens actually have plant sales where they will take propagations.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about stealing.
It's from the back, Shane. You see what I'm saying?
kidding.
No one can even see. I'm taking it. Like, they don't know.
If you want
how many sticks stems this plant?
So do you actively do it quickly while your sons are watching, or do you have your sons push you and you fall into it and you're like, whoa, and you rip and stick it in your pocket?
No, he pushes his sons into it. It's not his fault.
Yeah, they don't check the kids.
I wouldn't want to encourage anybody to do that. It is stealing.
Where do you want to steal cuttings from in Orlando? I'm down. I'm ride or die.
I'm rethinking the invite to the greenhouses.
I really started to think that stealing cuttings is our way out of this podcasting thing.
Yeah.
And I hate the fact that everybody's like, put alcohol on, your scissors or.
Why? Why do you hate that?
Because it's like you're over preparation.
Shane, what say you?
That is very common to do.
What do you think?
I don't do it very often.
Our
team. The only time we'll do it is when we're dealing with the point of the alcohol is if you had something that had a disease and you may not even see it yet, something like xanthomonas, which is soil borne and it can live, very non-detectable in the plant tissue. If you were and you didn't know that was happening in the plant and you cut it with scissors and then you trim something else, you could be transferring a disease
He
that
doesn't
you wouldn't
do could
realize.
He never does could be.
It's like wearing a condom. Who does that? I could tell if you got a Fine.
Everybody knows that condoms are for masturbating until you get a girlfriend.
But some people are really, really strict on it. They'll do it in between every single cut they make. I typically will do it between, batches of plants. If I'm propagating all the same species, I'll do all those.
I
and
bet
then I'll
your
clean
shears
them.
are rusty old black
How'd you know?
big old black rusty.
I was like, God, I can't even open them anymore.
Literally looks like the Grim Reaper's can opener.
Yeah. WD.
Black.
He has to spray half a can of WD-40 just to get him going again.
Well, Shane, thanks so much for coming in,
man.
Of
Thank you for
course.
the plan.
And what a surprise. Thank you for the plants. Add these
Wasn't
to
a surprise.
Add these to my collection. Pretty good.
Not too bad.
I can't wait to
like
see you
this
at
is
Second
new.
Saturday.
Second
Hey,
Saturday.
we'll be there.
GabrielaPlants.com.
There
All
you
right.
go.
We'll see you in a minute.
Great job, man. That was
Yeah.
super funny. Let me see. Where's that going, T?
That's Tuesday 3. I was
Okay.
way ahead, but
Yeah, it's fine. It was funny though, really funny.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk too much about Mother's Day, not knowing when it would air.
Oh, okay, yeah. So sorry. This will air on
We
Tuesday.
gotta ship it in time to get it to somebody by then. So
We got super ahead. We're actually at. We had
Are we done for
another-
the day?
Yeah,
Should I
we're
tell-
done now.
Okay, guys. I'm